Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the mining series. If you're new to the channel, first of all, I would like to ask you to kindly subscribe to my channel. I make Hypixel Skyblock videos weekly, and I am doing a mining series at the moment where I'm going from Heart of the Mountain Tier 6 all the way to a Divan's drill. So the drill progression goes like this. I grind all of the mithril and the titanium myself, and then the rest of the things that we need, for example, refined diamond, we need enchanted diamond blocks, or we need plasma, or we need like enchanted iron blocks for the mithril plates or whatever. I'm gonna buy those off of Bazaar using the money from powder grinding. So far, I have gotten all the materials needed for a 555. I just need to forge them all. So as you can see, I have 4,700 enchanted mithril left in my sacks and almost 500 enchanted titanium left in my sacks, as well as having 5 refined mithril in the forge and 8 refined titanium in here. I just have to forge the refined mithril and the refined titanium in order to be able to forge the mithril plates, and then I will have enough for the 555. However, the amazing admins are releasing an update soon where they are giving us a discount on the 555, so I'll be waiting until I get the materials for both the 555 and the 655, and then I will forge them back to back instead of having to forge the 555 and then have the update drop and then feel bad about missing out on the discount that they added to the 555. So it's gonna take a long time for me to forge the items for the 555, however, so during that time while these are forging, I'm going to go ahead and get into Glacite Tunnels because the new update is also adding a HOTM 9 requirement to the Amber Polish drill engine that we're going to have to get for the drill. So that is also something else that we need to take care of before the update drops. We need to get to Heart of the Mountain Tier 9. Right now I'm at Tier 7. Last episode I also got myself all the way to 8mm powder, which is great. I don't have to worry about powder for a very long time, at least not until Glacite powder catches up to mithril and gemstone powder. Right now this episode is going to be about just getting into Glacite Tunnels and exploring the content in there. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to give this guy the pass that I forged, and he should probably take us. Alright, so I just wanted to update you guys on the fact that I am Heart of the Mountain Tier 8 right now. I'm probably just going to keep on grinding commissions, but this is just a quick update to let you guys know where I am in terms of progress. I also filled up my sacks with umber and glacite, so I sold those and got about 2.5 mil, which was nice. But right now I'm probably going to go ahead and get into a bit of a summary on the Glacite Tunnels, so let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, so there are a couple of things that I need to go over in the Glacite Tunnels. First of all, when you go into the Glacite Tunnels, you get this thing called cold. So as you can see over here, I have cold building up slowly. Now the reason why it's building up slowly is because I have cold resistance, and I get that from potion effects as well as Heart of the Mountain perks. So if you didn't know, there is a Heart of the Mountain perk on Tier 8 that gives you cold resistance basically. So if you max that out, you get up to around 10 cold resistance, and then from the potion effects you get 5 cold resistance. You can boost this by Glacite Golem Pet or Mammoth Pet as well. Each of those also give you 10 cold resistance if they're at level 100. The Dwarven Hand Warmers give you 5 cold resistance, and the Pennant of Divan gives you 10, but that's not worth it because it's like 1.7 bill. The Dwarven Hand Warmers, they are around 40 million coins, so that might be worth it actually. There's also an enchant called Ice Cold that you can put on your armor, goes up to Tier 5. The Tier 1 is around 4 million coins, so unless you have a lot of money, that's also not really worth it because each piece would be around 64 million coins to put the Ice Cold 5 on, but that also gives you a total of 10 cold resistance, all pieces combined. But yeah, as far as commissions go, commissions over here are basically 1500 of a certain gemstone or 1500 of a certain ore. So for example, these orange ones, orange brownish looking ones, are called umber, and as you can see, they are pretty difficult to break. So now if you have efficient miner, it's going to be a lot easier, but if you don't have efficient miner and you're mining with a gemstone gauntlet like I am, then it's going to be pretty difficult for you to mine these, as well as the glacite over here. So these ice blocks that you see here, these packed ice blocks, these are also called glacite. I think the block strength is almost the same on these. And there's also this thing called tungsten. So if you see these cobblestone things here with little grayish blocks in the middle, these are called tungsten. So the commissions are either get one of these 4 gemstone types that are only found in the Glacite Tunnels, like citrine, onyx, peridot, aquamarine, or 1500 tungsten, umber, or glacite. Now while mining these, you actually have a chance to spawn a mineshaft portal, and if you use that portal to go into the mineshaft, as you can see here, I have a commission to enter 1 mineshaft. So while I'm mining, there's a chance that that will happen. If you mine enough glacite, it'll actually happen. It's not actually that difficult to get a mineshaft. And in the mineshaft, if you mine any of these, there's a chance that you get these things called scraps. So suspicious scraps that are used in the fossil excavator as well as your chisel. You can use these to get yourself one of these pages. Now obviously if you have a mod for it, it's going to tell you which ones to click on to get the fossil. But yeah, as you can see here, for example, I got all of these things, but you can also get glacite powder, which is pretty good. So this is probably like the easiest way that you can get glacite powder is if you just use scraps and chisel. However, you can upgrade this chisel to a reinforced chisel or a glacite plated chisel or a perfect chisel. So a perfect chisel is not really worth it because it requires Heart of the Mountain tier 10, but up to glacite plated chisel I think is worth it because it actually gives you more clicks in terms of like what you can click on. So as you can see here, I got 2000 glacite powder right here. So if you get a better chisel, you can probably get more clicks, which give you more chances to get powder. But yeah, that's as far as this goes. Also, if you want to reset your cold at any time, you can probably just get the travel scroll to the Dwarven base camp, which is around 4.5 to 5 million coins. You could actually also forge it, which takes like 7 hours. I wouldn't recommend it though. I just bought it myself because it was easier. And then if you have inventory buttons like I do, I just have warp glacite over here, so I can just warp back to the campfire over here, and then the cold resets to 0. So those are the few things that you need to know about glacite mines. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to grinding. Hopefully we get to Heart of the Mountain tier 9 by the end of this episode, because the commissions are actually pretty easy. These commissions are the ones that give you 1500 items to collect. The glacite, the tungsten, and the umber commissions usually take about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, but if it's a gemstone, it literally takes less than 30 seconds. So it's very simple to do these commissions. As you can see, my commissions went from 950 to 1123. So I did about 150 commissions just in the Glacite Tunnels so far. And yeah, it's been pretty easy. I'm just going to go ahead and keep on grinding until I get Heart of the Mountain tier 9, because that's the tier that's required for perfectly cut fuel tank as well as the amber polished drill engine. We're eventually going to have to get to tier 10 as well, because that's going to be like the maximum level. But for now, we're just going to keep on doing commissions. Alright, so I decided to make my life a little bit easier by going ahead and buying myself an equipment piece called the Dwarven hand warmers, which I already mentioned in the beginning of the video, just to get cold resistance, as well as Glacite Golem Pet. And we'll be pretty much using all of the money that we made last episode from powder grinding on these two things, just for cold resistance, because it's going to help out a lot. So let's go ahead and buy it. There's the Glacite Golem, and then we have the Dwarven hand warmers. There it is. Alright. So the reason why I didn't buy it until now is because I was contemplating on whether or not I should spend that money on something like a Glacite Golem Pet, and now I'm not contemplating anymore. I'm 100% sure that I did spend it just now. So let's go ahead and summon it, and I'm going to go ahead and collect all of the commissions, see what levels we get. Alright, we got it to level 43 with those 3 commissions, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep on grinding for now. But that should probably add a little bit of cold resistance and make us a little bit tougher against the cold in the Glacite mine shafts. I got 9 scraps to take care of, but that's for later. In terms of forge, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this thing right here. So we have 5 refined titanium already cooking, and all we need right now is just refined titanium. These 4 are the 4 materials needed for the 5 mithril plates. The refined diamond, plasma, enchanted iron block, and the refined titanium are just materials needed for the 555. So I need like 17 more refined titanium to get 32, but as I've mentioned before, I'm not going to forge a 555 until I get enough materials for the 655. And in terms of the Heart of the Mountain goal, we are all the way to 158,000 XP. So we're 54% of the way there to Heart of 9. Should be pretty easy to get, especially with the new pet and the new equipment that I just got. So yeah, let's just go ahead and keep on grinding for now. Alright everyone, so we are completely done with the goal. If I collect this, we will be Heart of the Mountain tier 9. And we leveled up twice and went to 186, so that's pretty nice. And I've also leveled up the Glacite Golem pet all the way to level 95, which is pretty crazy because we literally just got the pet. And we leveled up the Mithril Golem pet all the way to level 100, so that's just gonna sit there for now with all the other level 100 pets. And then in terms of forge, I'm forging the refined titanium right now, and they take 8 hours, and it's 8 p.m. So I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. to reset these. I'm probably gonna wake up in the morning and reset them. But so far we have 20 of them here, and then 5 of them are already forging. So that's 25. After they are done, after these 5 are done, we only need 7 more. That means 1.5 more rounds of these refined titaniums being in the forge, and then we can start forging the 5 mithril plates, and then we'll be done with all of the materials for the 555. Now for the 655, we already have the gemstone mixtures, the corleonites, and the glacite jewels required for the golden plates. Now for golden plates, we also need 5 refined diamond. We also need 5 refined diamond for the 655 itself. So that means 20 enchanted diamond blocks right here. There's 4 mil gone. And then we need 10 enchanted gold blocks for the golden plates as well. So there's that. And 1 mil gone there. That's 5 mil in total. And then we also need a flawless ruby gemstone. So that's over here, but flawless orders don't usually fill, so I'm gonna go ahead and put up a buy order for 6,400 flawed ruby gemstones, and the gold blocks already filled, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, the rest of it is just refined titanium and refined mithril, which we're gonna have to grind for ourselves, and that's for the next episode. For this episode, our goal was to hit Heart of the Mountain tier 9, and we did hit that actually. And I also want to increase my chances of finding scraps because that's the best way that I can get glacite powder. But yeah, that is as far as the progression goes. We are kind of prepared for the update now because the drill engine and the perfectly cut fuel tank are both gonna require Heart of the Mountain tier 9, which we are already at, so that's pretty good. Ah yes, and before I forget, let's go ahead and check the profits for this episode. So we got everything over here in the large enchanted mining sack, enchanted tungsten, enchanted umber, as well as enchanted glacite. So we're gonna go ahead and sell the enchanted tungsten and umber first because those are the first ones. Okay, wow, 8 million coins from enchanted tungsten, 6 million coins from enchanted umber. Those are insane numbers. And then we have enchanted glacite, which is probably the highest, gonna be 9 million coins in total. That's around 23.2 million coins, and that is pretty good profit considering that all we did was just commission grind. However, I also have these flawless gems over here that I got from these commissions, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a sell order for those as well. 3.8 mil for that, 1.62 mil for this, 3.5 mil for that, and 3.5 mil for this. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave those up. I don't care that they got outdated. I'm just gonna leave them and see if they fill. That's another like almost 12 mil that I got right there. So add that to the 23 mil. That is around 35 million coins from just doing commissions and getting Heart of the Mountain tier 9. So that's pretty good money actually. And for the next episode, I might try and get maximum mithril powder, but we'll see how the next episode goes. But that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.